What up, y'all? It's your man, D-Real, the Black Panther stalking the urban jungle by Brandon Medides, bringing you another podcast of Be Real with D-Real. I'm at Cat D-Real. What's going on? What's up? What's good? Working with a new format, messing around with a couple things. And I hopefully will keep doing it this way until otherwise. Anyway, let's get into what we were going to get into. I think I might have somebody here hanging out with me that has not made their physical presence known, but they're just kind of listening in. I don't see the audio or visual, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And what I'm gonna say is this: on or about, let's say about October 16th, Ice Cube, of all people, Mr. The nigga you love to hate, fuck the police. Yeah, that same guy. And before I get off into what I'm gonna get off into, I just want to encourage you first to separate the man from the music. Okay? Because anytime we hear the name Ice Cube, we automatically think all of that stuff I just talked about. But what I want to mention is, like I said, on or about October 16th, Ice Cube came forth with a 22-page document that was entitled Contract with Black America. In this contract, he outlines everything from Black people receiving reparations to making Juneteenth a national holiday to labeling the KKK a terrorist organization. 22 pages. 22 pages. He didn't prepare it himself, as I've learned. He had help. There were people, educated minds, who got together and put this together. And I was perusing it this morning, and it's very detailed. It's very, very detailed compared to, say, a 2-page platinum plan that President Trump put together. But anyway, that's not the focus of what I want to say. The focus of what I want to say is people, because Cube decided he wanted to interact with anybody who wanted to interact with him, as far as getting this plan implemented, that he's gotten, in my opinion, unfairly labeled a coon or a sellout. And the reason he's gotten this label is because, well, first of all, it's because of a little double talk on the part of the Republicans after he met with Trump. He's just meeting with Trump, not agreeing to anything, not saying I'm going to do this. He's just saying, I'm agreeing to meet with you. That's it. Nothing more. Now, if you're agreeing to meet with somebody, does that mean necessarily that you want to be a part of their organization? You're just trying to get something implemented. And that's all Cube was doing. Cube was trying to get stuff implemented. Okay? He wasn't trying to become a Republican. He wasn't trying to get in bed with Republicans. Republicans happen to be in power. So that's who you got to go and talk to. Talk to the Democrats. The Democrats said they didn't want to deal with it until after the election. Okay? That's cool. I respect that. Now, here's the problem I have with it. And this is the only problem I have with it. My man decided to implement that weeks before the election. Weeks before the election. Probably not a good time to be trying to implement plans and protocols and things of that nature. Now, I guess I want to tag in Miss Swade since I'm looking at her now. Hi, Swade.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, dear.
Okay, technology is usually my friend, but hey there.
Howdy.
People.
Yes, I see the puppy.
It's kind of early for me here.
Right. Let me grab my tea. Now, what I wanted to get into, I know you were ears up for most of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I can see the irony of all of this because we're talking about a man who in 2018 released a song
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
called "Arrest the President."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the very subject of this incendiary song is who he's sitting down breaking bread with. Now, is that a bad thing?
No. To keep it simple, no, not in and of itself. I wouldn't think so.
Because we're talking about a song, and then we're talking about something you're trying to do to implement change. That's two different things.
But okay, I'm going to keep it simple and just answer your question, yes or no. No, that wasn't a bad thing. I'll leave it at that till you want me to say something else.
I don't want you to say anything.
Okay.
I want you to say what you feel.
That wasn't a bad thing.
Okay. Whoops.
I guess my issue is like I just feel like it's obvious that Cube is passionate about what happens to Black people, what happens for Black people, the well-being and welfare of his people. I think that's a safe statement, right?
That is a very safe statement. Yes.
I don't know, but does it make him seem like he's kind of just all over the place? Like, I mean, like while he was doing that song, that would have been the time to reach out to the new administration. Like the fact that he reached out to both sides of the aisle
simultaneously,
like 4 months before the election. Now, okay, so Trump's people picked up the phone when he called. So what? What difference does that make now? So I think it was just ill-conceived, like poorly thought out.
Okay.
I've been real hesitant because I love me some Cube. I do.
Okay.
But some of his comments about how everyone reacted, like if you're going to put yourself forward on behalf of Black people, because that's what you're doing when you're saying, I'm going to the president of the US. Like you're really trying to get to the top to make a difference. All right.
Right.
To me, it seems like his response to people was negative. Like I was kind of with him more until I saw it's like, I'm speaking specifically about Instagram and Twitter, because let's face it, that's where Cube is communicating with his followers.
Okay.
He was just really negative. He was really in his feelings about how he know how Black people are. If your potato salad don't taste right, we gonna clown. So,
right.
I mean, come on, Cube.
Slade,
like
when have we known O'Shea Jackson to be warm and fuzzy? When have we known him to be all about the feels? I don't see him doing anything different than what he's ever done. Honestly, he's like, I'm doing this. If you with it, cool. If you're not, that's
well, all right. Well, then that's
still
him. But he's saying, are you with it? And if some people are going no, if his heart is in the right place on behalf of Black people, then I'm struggling with that fuck you attitude if you're trying to help me. Like you care about what happens to Black people. You understand the challenges in the community. And at the same time, if I'm not down with you right away with what you're doing, I love your music. I love your movies. I love your corny little movies. But just fuck me if I'm not down with you. Like you win me over. Help me. Give me something to look at. I'll be a silent observer. But he kind of got in his feelings on his page a little bit, in my opinion. Is
that about him as a person, or is that about how his guttural reaction made you feel? Because I feel the very same way about that Biden statement about if you don't do this or blah, 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 then you ain't Black. Okay, to me, that was the same kind of incendiary reaction, but somehow we managed to pull it together and get our heads out of our ass and
Yeah, no, that's
in the
fair
place we
point.
need to be. And that's all I'm saying about Cube. Let's get past the emotional component of that, because I got 3 questions I want to ask. And if those questions can be effectively answered, then I'm done. We can wrap early. But I'm confident that they are not lickety split questions that can be answered. The first question is, what's being done? What is being done for Black Americans educationally, judicially, and financially right now?
Well, not a damn thing's getting done right now. Not a damn thing.
Okay. And that is the answer I expected. My second question, if there isn't anything being done, why not?
This is only an hour show. So
okay, I mean, then summarize.
Why not?
Why isn't anything being done?
Well, technically, anything like that's just so broad. Like, we know nothing's getting done because our government is basically completely is at a standstill. You know, on that level, you know, the president doesn't even come to work anymore. You know, he sits around golfing and on his phone, playing on his phone. So he doesn't even show up to work. Congress just kind of let it go. COVID relief for people who need additional help. And they're just kind of derelict in their duties, if you ask me. So that's the quick answer about the present moment.
Okay.
What was your third question?
Who's responsible for implementing these things?
Okay, again, it's a nebulous what and anything that we're talking about, but
okay.
I mean, we're kind of responsible. I mean, I feel like as Americans, we just did what we felt we should do last week. Like, we came out and voted. All right, we did what we could. The obvious thing for us to do has just been done. So at the moment, the reason why nothing's getting done, who's responsible, all of that is pretty obvious at the moment.
So if there's no one doing anything or trying to do anything, and someone comes forth and says, I'd like to try, should our response to him be, no, don't do that? I mean, take the timing issue out of it. Okay,
I'm with it.
We got an election coming up.
I'm with it.
And that part I understand. Yeah. But if there's nobody, I mean, literally, for all intents and purposes, we as Black Americans have no leaders because people are either afraid to step up, or they are short of the bar, or they get murdered, or whatever the case may be. But if somebody, anybody, I don't care if it's a celebrity, a tailor, a doctor, whoever, somebody came forth and said, I have a plan. I'm trying to help us.
Well, I think we get that though. And like, but the problem is,
what saddens my heart is that us, the first thing we do is tear the motherfucker down. We got negative shit to say. All he did was went in a room and talked to somebody you hate. That's it. That's all he did. But then they took it and spent it and said, congratulations to Ice Cube for collaborating with the Republicans. The Republicans did that.
They spun it. I know.
Ice Cube didn't do that. But we took it and ran with it. Like, and it came all the gifts with Cube with a fucking MAGA hat on. And then we started lumping him in with people like 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, Kanye, you know what I'm saying? We started lumping him in with all of those guys, and we saw gifts.
Well, those guys, maybe they need to talk to each other. Like, they've been beefing, and there's all this intra rap politics. You know, we're gonna be confused. Okay, like, you know, We know that, like what you just said about us, what we do. My first reaction, I can only speak for myself personally. Now, I know the memes were cold, and I really kind of just ignored that story because I didn't want to put more air into it. I didn't want to keep sharing articles about, look what the Republicans said, Ice Cube said. I stayed kind of out of that and very mildly reacted to other people's articles, very mildly. But I did see that. I do see where Black people, we can be quick to tear down anything good for us, right? Anything that could potentially be good, anything different, anything new. But at the same time, if you get us on your side, we are a strong nation. And you have to do the work. If you're going to tap yourself on the shoulder as a leader, if you have it in your heart to really step up for the people, though, you can't have delicate little man feelings, though, bruh. That's my message to Q. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one with feelings. Well, I was minding my own business and I started reading these articles about you. And if you're going to be all sensitive about people didn't see I'm trying to do the right thing, well, just keep working with us. Keep working with us. So it's a two-way street. Be somebody that we want to look up to, right? Be somebody that we can know that this was a thought out idea when we hear something come from you. Not just kind of give it some thought. What is it that you really think you can accomplish? And also maybe get together with some other rappers. Maybe there's a power in some sort of coalition among themselves first. And I still don't get Captain talking to Trump right before he goes out of office. That just confused people. That just confused people. And then, of course, the Republicans gonna spin that mess. Of course. But I heard his whole statement. I heard Cube's whole interview setting that straight. I think it was part 1 and part 2. And I'm still down with him.
The 37-minute joint with Roland Martin.
Yes.
And I think
he broke it down.
He explained very clearly what the situation was, and I was like, okay, that's what I figured. But yeah, the timing. He's actually he's collaborating with Alicia Garza. And I'm kind of excited for that to see if they're going to really get together and do anything. Because I think she scares a lot of people. And
I've been called scary. It's no big deal.
and people have called her everything but a child of God. And those are the kinds of people that you need on your squad when you're trying to implement change. And real quick, this is Cube's 22 page. Look, he's got an index for his shit, and it's that's just one paragraph, another paragraph, more paragraphs, and it's about 22 pages of that, and it's very detailed. Okay, Platinum Plan.
Oh,
that's it.
Just succinct. Yeah.
2 pages, and they're vague. Okay, they don't really give any detail. What is this telling me? Let's see here. It says jobs. That is literally the heading.
Wow.
Jobs. Wow. Reach even greater levels of historic employment and wage growth for the Black community set in 2019 so that anyone looking for a job gets one. What in the fuck does that tell me? That tells me nothing about how. Tell me how I'm going to get a job. And safety and justice and better and cheaper healthcare. So
that sounded like an essay, and you're just trying to get up to 500 words. So you're at 497. So you got to throw jobs in there 2 more times so that you can get to your 500. It's like, oh shit!
I can remember being in school and having to turn a report in,
Uh,
and it was due the next day, and I fucked around and waited the whole week and didn't do nothing. And then Sunday night, I was like,
you're like
let
very,
me hurry up.
very, very, and jobs.
And that's what that looks like. Like somebody just piecemealed, haphazardly this piece of shit and thought, oh, that's a plan for Black people. Yay, we've got something. And that's something you can easily just flush down the toilet and forget about. So my thought is, at least the man was coming with something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, the timing, terrible. Timing's terrible.
Even Kanye didn't have a jobs memo. I mean, he was on the ballot. I mean, don't get me started on him. I'm going to use proper English. What was this? Kanye didn't even have I didn't even see his data sheet. One page, right? So, I mean, so I just want to say, like, all help ain't good help. Like, just back to that, just for a second, just because somebody, I want to make a difference. Well, people need to believe in what you're doing or you're going to get clowned. It needs to make sense. Help people understand. There needs to be a period of educating people on what this plan is about. Maybe crowdsource some information from people or something. You know, when you volunteer to step up like that, I'm just saying again, we clown if your potato salad doesn't taste right. So don't be surprised. Don't be all bitter. I didn't like that some of the reactions people, had to Cube. Like, I followed his little Twitter feed for a little bit, and some people were coming pretty hard at him. But at the same time, he wasn't really saying anything to win over any naysayers. It just kind of sounded like fuck y'all niggas. It was more of a fuck y'all niggas reaction to it. And he really did say niggas, but he put the little stars in it. He was like, fuck y'all niggas. I'm trying to help y'all's dumbasses, basically, is what he's trying to say. But that I'm intelligent enough to make my own decisions. I'm not Ice Cube, but I don't need somebody telling me fuck you nigga if I don't agree with your plan. Okay. So
but
I mean,
but in your opinion, okay, if you had implemented the contract for Black America and it was met with some kind of negativity, would your response be to just continue to be tranquil or to project this image of I'm here for you, even though you're in your mind, you're like silly ass, stupid motherfucker, and you're not saying it, but you're thinking it, and you're just like, okay, I'm trying to help you.
I can be convinced though. I can still be convinced. Like Ice Cube, for all I know, might be the next Malcolm X. We just don't know. He already, I can still be convinced, and I'm not against what he was trying to do. None of that. And I think a lot of the blowback should be expected. That's how it is. That's how we do. That's the political climate that we're in. Black people are frustrated. A lot of people have promised us a lot of shit. Nothing, so that's to be expected. So I think it's still incumbent upon him. If he's sincere, it'll get some traction. After a while, he'll, they're just words. I mean, I don't have $500 million, but I've lived as a Black person. I'm just as experienced as a Black person as Ice Cube. I have my own. He's no expert, so his plan will help us understand how this is going to work. Why don't you reach out and employ some people? I don't mean employ literally, but crowdsource some, help people beef up some of those sections of that document. Let's have some breakout groups, and you guys sit down and think about how can we make this mean something? Get in there, roll your sleeves up, and do some work, and help us turn that document, not the one-page mug you just showed me, but the other one, beef it up, and that's what he should be talking about, his plan, not having a reaction to people's reaction. Like, but I think that I'm still capable of being convinced. I just feel like I have a lot of respect for him, and not just him, but people who actually feel like, I made it. And had a lot of opportunity. It started out tough, but now I've been doing okay, and I really want to make a difference. It's that simple. I have to take my hat off to that, because back to Kanye, I don't feel like Kanye really ever expressed wanting to make a difference. It always seems like it's about him, you know. From Cube, it seems like he really cares and wants to make a difference. So I'm still Team Cube. Don't get me wrong. But when you throw your hat into the forays of politics, it's gonna be tough. You know, you're gonna face some valid and unfair criticisms.
Yeah, I feel like when he put his hat into the political arena, so to speak, he was a piece of straw in a hurricane. You know, and he wasn't ready for what happened, and his response was very visceral.
Yeah,
you know, especially on Twitter. You know, just like and that's exactly what he was doing. He was responding to what people were saying rather than trying to get out ahead of the statements and anticipate what they're going to say and tell them, this is what I'm trying to do. Get past what you're feeling and get on board with this. But I mean, again, like you said, first time, brand new. He didn't know what kind of, reaction he was going to get, negative or positive. But at least he stayed in there and said, this is what I want to do. And now that, the election's been decided for all but 70 million of us.
Right. 70 million and one. Don't forget the other candidate who doesn't realize it.
Right. And maybe the Dems will get on board with it.
Yeah.
And put, what was it, 500 billion? I don't know if they're going to put 500 billion behind it. That would be nice if they did and tried to implement something. It's just well,
what Black people need to understand, all of us, the whole monolith of us, is, because I think we talked on one of your shows recently about how little people really know about the political process. Now, Biden and Harris, they have their work cut out for them come January 20th. But at the same time, keep in mind, the Senate is still Mitch McConnell in there. I mean, it's not just going to be like you can just a stroke of a pen start making stuff happen, making it rain. I mean, but I have to believe, be as positive as possible right now. Give the new administration a chance. But, Black people will get mad. Everybody gets mad. The lesbian, gay, LGBTQ community. Everybody wants something done right away. Do something about immigration right away. Do something about, and it might take a couple of years to really see what can be accomplished with this administration. But if $500 million is needed, like I said, that's really nothing. I mean, that's really nothing. 500 rappers could throw $1 million each in. There's your 500 million.
It's with a B, 500 billion.
Oh. Well, we're gonna need some help with that.
That's my point. And the way and it's online for anybody to just pull up and read if you want to read the.
Well, let me do that. Hold on a second.
With Black America.
Pardon me for a second. I'm gonna do exactly that. Hold on a second.
Keep talking. It's a very detailed document. And it outlines I like that mirror. Okay. It outlines a lot of things in the body of said document about Black opportunity and representation. There's a whole section just on that. About police reform. There's a whole section about just that. About economics, education. He sat down with some fairly intelligent people.
And what did I call? What am I Googling?
Just put in contract with Black America, and anything that says Ice Cube on it, that should probably be it. But it's very detailed. I was impressed, you know.
Good.
And when,
Good.
as I read it, I said to myself, O'Shea didn't do this by himself. he had to have had some help, you know.
I'm glad he didn't.
Because of the way it's worded, you know, and then even talks about reparations in a reasonable way, you know, not just cut me a big ass check right now, you know. Reparations come in a lot of different forms, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Reparations, everybody just assumes, oh, that means I'm gonna get a check. Not necessarily, you know.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the best way to go about things.
Exactly. You want to be put on even footing. If that's what you want, if you want to be on even footing with everybody else in this country, then you want things that can't be spent away.
I keep thinking that something about free college is good. Like, you know what I mean? Something along those lines, right?
Yeah, give me some land.
Give me some land. But free education, come on, right there.
Free education is great. I accept that.
Because student loans hold a lot of people back.
Package. That needs to be in the package. Yes. You know, healthcare, definitely. You know, there are people who are well-to-do and working and don't have good healthcare. You know, as a veteran, you know, I can get, you know, care at the VA, which is cool. But as far as, you know, certain things like dentists and eye doctors and that kind of a thing, then I've got to go and do that on my own steam. You know what I mean? So yeah, healthcare is important.
No, this is nicely put together. I will review this.
Yeah, it is. It's
the whole website. Yeah,
it's a really nice document, and I thought to myself that could work, you know. And they're saying things like, you know, let's just cut the bullshit and call the KKK a terrorist organization, and any other, you know, white supremacist organizations that run similarly to the KKK. Okay, what's
how hard is that?
Right. I'm sure there's going to be some blowback with that one, but it's presented. You see what I'm saying?
No, this is wonderful, and there's no reason to, you know, for him. He shouldn't be bent out of shape because people don't get this yet. Just a second. It was just politics, and when I look at this, it does kind of make it like, okay, he can't really think the Trump administration was going to work with him on this. Come on.
Yeah, well,
I'm just looking. I'm like, this is actually really good. Okay,
but you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it.
You thought that. You really thought that.
He didn't just bring it to them. He brought it to both sides.
Okay.
Their side was the only side that said, "Yeah, okay, we'll talk to you."
Yeah.
So I mean, he could have very well been sitting somewhere with Biden Harris talking about it.
Well, I don't mind. I kind of think it was a wise move. Biden and Harris, they did the whole lay low. They didn't. It was President Trump shooting himself in the foot basically the last 6 months before the election. So there was really, you know, getting together and a contract with Black America and all that with Ice Cube and Kamala Harris, and she's running for, you know, she's the first African-American woman running for vice president. They probably just maybe wanted to stay away from any sort of controversy, anything that could be spun, because, you know, Republicans will spin anything. The sky is not blue, it's purple, and the earth is flat. More on that at 11. And they will have experts convincing you, talking about the earth is flat for 6 hours, right? So it's like, well, the Democrats wouldn't, well, maybe the timing again. And what difference does it make if the side that really ain't gonna do shit said they talk to you? Yeah, we'll talk to you, all right. I mean, so it's kind of a wash. At the end of the day, that whole situation to me is kind of a wash between the fact that it looks like Harris and Biden's camp wouldn't talk to him, wouldn't talk to Cube about this right now.
Not what they said, though.
What they said?
They said, we'll talk to you about this after the election.
Right. Not right now. They were just saying not right at that time.
Yeah,
and
just like when your mama said,
yeah, I will talk to you, but you know he ain't gonna do shit. You just know that. And I'm not saying we're definitely gonna get what people hope for. I don't feel all hopey changey like I did when Obama got elected in 2008. I had stars in my eyes, right? But I don't feel like that. I'm just like relieved. You know, it's more of a like, it's a different type of feeling, right? So I'm not that naive, but I think we can, you know, I'm still team Ice Cube. I really am. I have to, it'll take a little bit more. I did raise my eyebrow. I did give him the side eye, but at the end of the day, it'll just be a blip.
I saw past how he was doing what he was doing, and just kind of focused on the body of what he was trying to accomplish. I'm like, okay, I get that. I understand it. Maybe just like everybody else, after this is all over, the Democrats will say, okay, Q, come talk to us. What was it you wanted to do? And that's the hope. That's what I'm hoping will happen. Maybe January, February, who knows? You know, but like you said, it's going to take a while to implement all of the things that everybody wants to see come out of Biden Harris. I don't know if, you know, helping Black America is high on that list. We'll see.
Well, Biden said it in his acceptance speech. He came out the gate saying it because we know who got him in the office. Like pretty much, right?
Okay. So we were all Black after all.
We did it. I mean, come on. Like everybody on the far progressive left who was surprised that Biden was the last man standing in the primaries, they underestimated Southern Black people who wanted Biden. They woke up like, oh, what happened to Bernie Sanders? What happened to Elizabeth? No, Black people in the South spoke. And they spoke again. And they get to speak one last time on the Senate. So
yeah,
it's
an exciting time.
I want to throw this out.
Okay.
Just something to keep in mind. Something else that's interesting in the complexities of all of this, the ironies, really, the paradox of the relationship that the Black community has had, particularly in rap through music, with Donald Trump since the 80s. I mean, Trump was, don't forget, we're talking about the same man that was glorified. He is memorialized as like a
in
god,
a few people's songs. Yeah.
A lot. And then it just caused some kind of dissonance. We had to break up with him. You know what I mean? We had to break up. And I mean that the collective we. And now the Central Park Five, and still he was the hero. That wasn't something that stopped the rappers from praising him in their music. The Central Park Five, that didn't stop them because money and all of that. So all of these, it just kind of confused people. People were just like, you know, you got Kanye over here definitely being Kanye, and I think Ice Cube just kind of accidentally got lumped in with some other mess that's been going on.
That's what happened. We were mad, and so we were like, any rappers that's doing anything political, fuck y'all coons, y'all sellouts, y'all Uncle Toms, your Uncle Ruckus, and that's just where we put everybody because we were angry. I can remember being talking to some people on the Black Coalition, and I just asked how something was going to get implemented, and a bunch of people jumped down my throat like, oh, well, if you ain't with it, then get the hell out of here. And there's I just answered the question. I asked for a question. Y'all are incendiary right now.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand when stuff's crucial and stakes is high, people are really, 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 really emotional about stuff. So I think that's a lot of what happened with Ice Cube. He dealt with a lot of emotional people and he responded with emotion. So that was kind of like not the thing to do. But like you said, just like you, I'm still Team Cube. I think he can come back with something and make this contract something viable. If nothing else, they can take pieces of it, parts of it. Okay, if we can't get it all, give us the top 5 things in here that we know we want.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
flush it out. I'm, like I said, really impressed with what I'm looking at right now. And if he stays focused on that, though, like seriously, just don't expect people to get it right away. Don't expect everybody to get it right away. And if you want people if you feel misunderstood, then again, just keep recalibrating on how you're bringing your message. Period.
Indeed. Sway, we've been yammering for a whole hour. Can you believe that?
Wow. That's flew by. It's early for me. I have to confess. I was like, oh no, am I doing video with bro today? Because I sleep late. I don't wake up till either that or I like this morning. Actually, I went for a run and then got back in bed. So I was like, wow. I'm like, I hope I wake back up. I hope I wake back up.
I'm glad you woke back up, Sway. I'm glad. And if you want to go back to sleep, you can.
I'm up now. I'm full of coffee.
Okay. Well, this was fun. And I appreciated you chiming in.
I like the direction you went with this, though. There was a lot of dialogue around this, when you put on your post. But I like the direction you went with the conversation. Because we don't need to, just vilify our own, for no good reason.
No, especially not when the brother trying to do something for us.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to get, the crux of all. That's all I'm saying. Regardless of how he did it and went about it.
Let's get past that.
He was doing it for us.
Let's get past that.
Yes.
Let's get past that.
Absolutely. Sway, always a pleasure. Always a freaking pleasure. You are welcome back anytime of the day, week, month, or year.
Okay, I'll be a little more glamorous next time and more awake.
Okay, I'm gonna close it up and I will definitely talk to you.
Okay, bye.
All right, stay up, sis.